and welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts. What I'm going to be doing today is trying to make a vibrating plate using just 2 bits of Perspex. These are 3mm Perspex and a very, very cheap electric toothbrush. Now, I'm hoping this is all going to come in at under really about £9, and if it works, which will be great, it'll be a really cheap way to try and get bubbles out of something when you've poured. If it doesn't work, I've wasted £9, so I'm not too worried. So, without too much further ado, I'm just going to cut this bit in half as my 2 legs. So, I'll be back in a second. And you could use a hacksaw for this, as it's 3mm. I'm going to be using my Dremel. I'll be back as soon as I've cut it in half. So, I've cut those 2 in half now, and they're going to sit up like that with the other bit on top. So I'm going to be using my super glue and also some hot glue from my hot glue gun. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one there. Hopefully that will glue on. And I'm going to pop this one here. And now I'm going to go around those legs with my hot glue gun just to give it that little bit of extra secure feeling. So there we go. So that's what it looks like now that it's all glued up. So that's the top bit where I will be standing my resin to vibrate. Hopefully that'll be okay like that. I mean, I may have to put a bottom bit on it as well where I slot it in, but we'll see. So now that's slightly too long to get into there without it having up. So I need to get the center of that and then just drill a hole for that to come through as well. And there we go. So as you can see, I've mixed up some resin now with quite a few bubbles in. So I'm going to put that there. I'm also going to put a little bit in a tiny mold as well. So we've got some resin here that I've mixed up, and I've tried to mix in quite a lot of micro bubbles, and I've put a bit of that also, let's pop a bit more in, into this mold as well. Let's see how this goes to start with. I will put this on fast forward as well, so you don't have to sit in this watching this happen. Okay, so what I've discovered is it definitely needs an edge around it, and what I'm going to try and do is put an edge around it first with the hot glue gun and see if that will be enough. So there we go. I've now put that glue around it. And as you can see, in this one, there are 1 or 2 bubbles that have come up to the top. I wouldn't normally go over it with my torch, but other than that, that is actually fairly clear of bubbles. Where it's in the pot, there are 1 or 2 little micro bubbles in there, but actually nowhere near as many as there was, as you can see. So it has helped there. So what I need to test now is if I do a casting, a larger casting, if I place it on there, is it going to allow me to release the bubbles? We'll leave this on here for a few more minutes, and then what we'll do is we can let this cure and see if it's got rid of any bubbles. Okay, so that's had 3 minutes now, and as you can see, there's very few bubbles in it. What there is in it is a bit of dirt there, because obviously my mould wasn't as clean as it could be. So I'm going to take that out with this toothpick. There we go. Oh, there's another bit there. And what we'll do is we will cure these. Let them... Oh, look, I've just made that worse. What we'll do is I've put bubble in it now. Oh, I'll leave it there. So what we'll do is we will let these cure, then we'll take them out, see how transparent they are. Now, this bit here is the bit that I mixed up and just left in the pot, that seems to be virtually clear. And also the little bit that I put in this mould as well seems to be virtually clear. But the real test is once we take them out of the moulds and we look at them through the actual resin itself, because it's clear resin. So we'll come back to these once they're cured. Okay, so this is cured now. The coaster's cured, the bit in the pot is cured, and the little bit that I put in the pendant mould. And I'm interested to see. Now, on face value, this one doesn't look like it's got any bubbles in it at all, and neither does this one. But this one does look like it's got a few really tiny micro bubbles. So let's take them out of the mould. Okay, so this is a bit deceptive. Now, actually, there aren't too many bubbles in this, and this is quite clear. There's a few micro bubbles around the outside here, and there is a few in here, but overall, it's fairly clear for the coaster. The pendant itself, again, I would say from a distance of about a foot away, and the same with the coaster blank, from about a foot away you can't see any bubbles in it at all, but close up you can see a few micro bubbles, and that isn't the case for this that's cured in the pot. I don't know if I can get this out. Yeah, I can. Comes out quite easily. Shame I've got to break the pot. So there we go. That has come out. From a distance of probably about, I don't know, half a mile, you might not see the bubbles, but you can see the bubbles in there, and that's probably because this is quite a bit thicker than either of the coaster or the pendant. So, does it work? Well, I'm a bit undecided. I think it definitely helped get out the bigger bubbles that were in the resin, because I did mix it trying to get as many bubbles into it as possible. I think it definitely helped get rid of some of the bigger bubbles. It's nowhere near as good as what I've seen people use with a pressure pot, but actually, yeah, it kind of worked. If you want to make coasters, very few people make completely clear coasters, so if there was a bit of colour in there, you certainly wouldn't see any of the bubbles. And it hasn't left any bubbles around the edges either. So, would I use it? Yeah, I think I might use it if I've got excess amount of bubbles in my resin. But it isn't what I would say completely cleared them out. It didn't move the teeny weeny little micro bubbles, but overall it's not bad. It cost me next to nothing to make. Perhaps I needed a more powerful toothbrush rather than the battery operated one, but that I wanted to try and keep the cost down. So I'm kind of undecided. So I'd like to know how if anybody else has any contraptions or anything that they use to get rid of bubbles if they don't have a pressure pot. Be really interested to know, or interested to know if you've used a vibrating toothbrush or anything to get rid of them. So I hope this video has been a bit useful for you. It has been useful for me because now I know whether it'll work or not, and I think it will work for certain things. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos. And also join my Facebook group, How to Resin with Steve McDonald. It's a new group, it's growing quite well. And there's YouTube videos on there, there's extra bits and pieces on there, and you can also post YouTube videos and different bits and pieces on there and share your stuff as well. All the links to everything I've used here are in the description using my Amazon affiliate links, so please click on those. Doesn't cost you any more.
I have actually been using this now for the last few days when I've mixed up my resin in my larger pots, and I've just been putting it on there while it's degassing for about 4 or 5 minutes, and I have seen a difference in the amount of bubbles that come up from the mixed resin, so I will continue to use it. I don't think it's nowhere near as good as a pressure pot, but it has helped me get rid of some of my bubbles. So, hope you've enjoyed. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video as much as you can to help my channel grow. Bye.